Welcome back to my channel. This is T. In this video, I'm going to tell you some signs that you may live in a gang stalking neighborhood. So sign one is for a certain amount of time, you will see a lot of people outside in this neighborhood and everything will look kosher and what's considered normal. The reason is because most gang stalkers know that it's easier to gang stalk people when the environment looks friendly. So the gang stalkers will try their best to make the neighborhood look extra friendly. And they'll do this by being outside a lot and talking to each other a lot. And if there's someone in particular that they're gang stalking, they will try their best to get that person's attention while they're all engaging in a friendly manner with each other. But if you pay very close attention to this neighborhood, you may see some signs that things are not what they seem. And one of the signs may be that there may be someone that wants to engage with the gang stalkers, and this person may get rejected. And see, this can happen because the person doesn't understand that the gang stalkers are being fake. And so another sign is the gang stalkers will not be questioned by anyone, which means that they will not allow anyone to question them in terms of what they're doing and why they're doing what they're doing. And so they will avoid confrontation when it comes to their behavior. And they may do this by disappearing from the neighborhood periodically. And they may also do this by being extra friendly to people that look upset or disturbed by what they're doing. Um, Another thing that you may notice is that the gang stalkers will try to keep their group intact because obviously there's strength in numbers. So if there's a large amount of people gang stalking someone, it helps the gang stalkers if they have a large group of supporters. And the thing with this is as time goes on, some people may not want to be in this group anymore. They may not want to continue gang stalking because they may notice that a lot of the behaviors are getting to the point to where it's like obsessive compulsive style um, behaviors where people are repeating actions that are not making any sense. Of course, gang stalking doesn't make any sense at all. But what I mean is it'll reach an epic proportion to where it's like they're just doing anything and everything to try to get a result. And so some people may try to back out of it, out of the gang stalking, and they may end up being gang stalked because the gang stalkers don't want people leaving their group. If you pay attention to the word gang stalking, you'll notice that there's a word in gang stalking that basically hints to the fact that it's a group to where it's hard for people to leave it. And so another thing that you may notice is a lot of religious relics or items in people's yards that are involved in gang stalking. There are some people that have religious artwork or things in their yard and they do not do this type of thing. They don't gang stalk people. But there are people that do have these items in their yard to keep up a facade because they want people to think that they're good people and that what they're doing is justified. And sometimes, for some reason, people will get it in their head that their actions are justified by a higher power. Because you got to understand, everyone understands spiritual things in a different way. And people justify certain actions based upon what they understand. And sometimes what they're justifying is not logical. Um, so you'll probably be confused because you may see something spiritual in someone's yard that's game stalking someone, and you might think, well, why would that person game stalk someone and then have this spiritual stuff in their yard? It's not making sense. Or you may say, oh no, this person wouldn't do such a thing because this person has this spiritual stuff in their yard. And that's the whole point. That's the whole thing, is to cause you to be confused. The having this spiritual stuff in the yard. But if you pay very close attention, you will start to notice that the behavior of the person and what the person has in their yard does not add up. So if you are in a gang stalking neighborhood, try your best to avoid dealing with these gang stalkers, because two major things can come out of the situation. One is you end up suffering from dealing with them, or two, you end up a part of the gang stalking group. So either option are bad, which means you're better off resisting this entire group of gang stalkers. Sometimes the gang stalkers will change their mind and decide not to continue doing what they're doing. Sometimes something will click, and sometimes it won't. Something will click in their head and it'll say, hey, this is not right. But sometimes it won't. And either way, you don't have to deal with people who have abused you and or continue to do it. Because the thing about it is, by you resisting, you are indirectly helping people to not have to deal with the same thing, and you are sparing yourself more trauma or more hurt and pain. Because if someone gang stalks you, that means these people, they don't have morals and values, or at least at the time, they didn't. And maybe that's what they need to learn. But if you submit to what they want, they will never learn from their mistakes. And many bad things can result in you dealing with these people. You know, when I was growing up, I was told, if you lie, you'll steal, and if you steal, you'll do even more. And it rings true when it comes to gang stalkers. Sometimes they don't know how far they'll go because all they can think about is what they want. And no one's life is worth things. Like we can get more things, we can get more stuff, but human life is more valuable than anything on this planet, as far as I'm concerned. You really can't put a price on human life, but some people think that you can, unfortunately. And so, best thing you can do is avoid the gang stalkers. You go back to them, or if you submit to them, because you might have been around them, you may not have even known that they were this way, and you may have been friends before you found out. But that's okay. Just don't go back to them. They don't have your best interest at heart, and they just want something from you. And then you're going to run into this issue of, well, how much is enough? And then it's going to keep going from there. And it's like I said, people who do this type of thing don't see you as a human worth respecting or valuing. So that lets you know everything you need to know. So continue to resist the game stalkers and let them deal with what they have done. Maybe that's what needs to happen because I know that I've talked about how you resisting them will help other people because it will. Because chances are they've done this to other people. And, you know, when gang stalkers stalk people in the neighborhood, it makes the whole neighborhood unstable. It's very dishonest and it creates an environment to where you never know what could happen. You don't know, we don't really know people as well as we think we do. And just imagine if there's people outside and whoever's being gang stalked is really, really agitated and angry or whatever, lashes out. Like right in that moment, there's people outside that are going to have to deal with the consequences of everything involving the gang stalker and the person being gang stalked. And, there's innocent people that will have to deal with the situation that don't even know what's going on. There's children that are watching these weird behaviors and learning to do weird things. And it's just really bad. So you'll be helping people and you'll be helping yourself by getting away from people who don't know how to treat you properly. So stay strong and move on with your life because that's what these people need to do. And take care of yourself. And so that concludes this video. And mm, before I fully conclude it, I want to say that this crystal called strawberry quartz can help you heal all of your chakras. And while you're dealing with the situation, you want to keep this in mind because it can give you the strength you need to deal with the situation. But if things get to the point to where you have to involve the authorities, then do so. But take care of yourself. Bye bye.